All right, good Monday morning, everyone. Welcome to First 15 at 8:15. This is Rich. Did I say Monday morning? Earlier I said Wednesday, so I want to make sure I said Monday. Um, got a lot to cover today, so let's get moving on it. Um, we do these first 15 webinars every weekday morning, Monday through Friday. And on Mondays, they're open to the public, so there's many, many, many more people who we have invited, all agents, I believe. And you'll get a flavor for what we do every day of the week. So we're going to cover today, or rather today and in the month of February, we cover everything listings. So February is everything listings, and the reason why we cover February everything listings is because in February is when people who may be thinking of putting their house in the market before June will put their house on the market. So if you think about it, somebody's planning to put their house on the market in April, May, or June, maybe later than that too, this year, but certainly the first 6 months. They're beginning to poke around online. They're looking at comparable houses. They're probably being communicated with by other agents. So you definitely want to be in the mix here, and you want to be in the conversation early in the month. But just before we do that, we're going to begin, now that it's February, to make sure that you're putting into place the time management organizational tools that you learned from the Real Estate Grad School Business Plan. And there was a workshop I do, just did it in Wisconsin, called Master Time Management Organization Once and for All, and we really mean that. When you take on the few things that you're about to be reviewed, and we're going to reinforce many, many, many days of the week, you're going to realize that you can actually master time management and organization once and for all. And through good time management organization, through time management and organization, the way that we teach it, you really can have balance in your life. But the key to balance for a real estate agent, maybe for everyone, but definitely for a real estate agent, the key to balance in your life is that you don't find balance. It's not like finding balance on a bicycle that, you keep testing it and one day you feel it. In real estate, you create balance. It's very conscious. On a bicycle, when you're testing, leaning this way, you almost don't feel that. You sense it. Well, in real estate, you don't sense balance. You create balance with conscious choices. And one of the choices that we want you to learn, that I want you to learn, is a very basic daily schedule. And the daily schedule works like this. You start out with 10 minutes of planning. You then do everything in your office that can be done in your office for the day. Don't plan to come back to your office to work, and get that all done in the morning. That's office work, phone work, prospecting work, marketing work, computer work. Have lunch, and then spend the afternoon preparing for what we call field work, preparing for appointments, showings, inspections. And then late afternoon and early evening, you can be going on your actual listing appointments, buyer appointments. Now, you may mix that up throughout the day, but this is an excellent rough daily schedule. And if you have any questions or challenges to this thought, we'll talk about that on our live call at 8:30 or 11:30. And then the question is, what do you do during this 10 minutes of planning? So during that 10 minutes of planning, you do 4 things. You prioritize your activities for the day. You look at all the things you have to do for the day, the things you have to do that really are must-dos, are high priority, have some urgency, make a list. The things you'd like to get done, make that list, distinguish between those 2 things. You organize your minimum prospecting contacts, either the people you're going to call, the time you're going to call. You remind yourself, take a look at your goals, and resolve that you're going to keep your attitude positive throughout the day. And it's very easy to get that done in 10 minutes. It's not the topic of this morning's call, but we teach that all the time. 10 minutes of planning to launch your day correctly, then all the work that can be done in the office before you leave the office. Have lunch, field work in the afternoon, appointments in the late afternoon, early evening. And that is the schedule of every organized, comfortable, strong, growing, top-producing agent. When you talk to somebody doing 50 or 150 transactions or more, 100, 200 transactions, unless they're working with builders or investors, so they really don't have that many clients, but an agent like you guys, most all of you, selling houses one at a time, man. This is the schedule that will help you be much more organized and manage your time better. So we're going to reinforce some of these topics, but today we're going to talk about everything listings. Not today, but the whole month of February. And throughout the month of February, we're going to talk about getting more listing opportunities, perfecting your listing presentation, how to really best prepare for your listing presentation. Funny you asked that question today, Terry, or made that comment. Marketing and servicing your listings. In other words, once you get the listing, market it to get it sold, and making that seller feel like you're their only client. Negotiate with confidence once an offer comes along, and then pricing right and price reductions will be a topic. We could have mixed it in there with your listing presentation, but we'll wrap up the month with price right and price reductions. So one comment about your listing presentation, and it is this: your listing presentation is a necessary component to being successful in your real estate business. Just like probably for all of you, your automobile is a necessary component. Your computer is a necessary component. Your telephone, your phone is a necessary component. Okay? I guess we should say cell phone rather than telephone. And so to be confident in your business, you must have a strong, so your listing presence is necessary component for you to be strong, to have a strong growing business. To be confident in your business, you must have a strong listing presentation in which you have a great deal of confidence. And until you've built that, you will not be confident in your business and very likely not have a strong business. But there's a strange and wonderfully interesting thing about listing presentations. And the strange and wonderful thing about listing presentations is that each agent is different. There's some foundational pieces that are the same. We're going to show you those throughout the month. But there's also substantive differences that an agent who works with expireds more than he works with sphere of influence is going to have a different listing presentation than one who works almost entirely with their sphere of influence. Somebody who's a very good presenter and communicator is going to have a different type of presentation than somebody that's very analytical and very logical. So the strange and wonderful thing about listing presentations is you build them on a skeleton. The structure is really basically the same, but it can be built lots of different ways. So you get to really look at other people's listing presentations, your own experience, and choose the elements that will make your listing presentation strongest. And if you see somebody else does a listing presentation, say, oh, this works fabulously for me, you should take this on, and it just doesn't fit with you, don't wear it. Don't take it on. Because the wonderful thing is that each agent's listing presentation is necessarily different. Now, I had dinner with Roger Stouter when I was in Wisconsin speaking, and Roger in his career has taken over 800 expired listings. He sold over 2,500 properties in his career. He sold over 500 million, that's a $500 million in career sales. That's $500 million in career sales and still going strong. So here's somebody who knows something about listing presentations. He's done literally thousands and thousands of them and done them with some of the most difficult sellers that there are over a very long period of time. And these are Roger's 4 tips for your listing presentation. And they're remarkable. And the reason they're remarkable is because they're not focused on how you present your marketing plan, how you talk about negotiation. He does those things very well, but he says after all this time that those things are basic. Those aren't the most important. The number one key is to show that you care. That interesting? Show you care. I was actually having a conversation with some other business people yesterday on the ski trip, and we were saying how once you're strong in your business, once you know what you're doing, and you know the mechanics of your business, and you start to learn how to deal better and better with the people, showing that you care is probably the key ingredient to your success. He says, find some commonality, something you guys have in common. People trust and respect when you can connect. Oh, I should write that down. It rhymes. People trust and connect. People trust and respect when you can connect. Ooh, I like it. Somebody want to write that down and send it to me. Show your work ethic. show how hard you work. And he said, they hire who you are, not what you do. Man, I would definitely write that down. In your listing presentation, in all of your sales, in all of your life, but right now we're talking about your listing presentation, people hire who you are, not what you do. So when you really focus on what you do and how you do it, somebody else can come along who's a little more enthusiastic about them or their house, and they will hire them because they like who they are, even though they believe you could do a better job. And then at the end, Roger's fourth of four things is to show them your skills and your record to prove that you can do it. So, man, those are great tips, and they come from one of the best. Now, those of you that are coaching clients, I have Roger's entire listing package for expireds. So if you'd like it, it's 13 pages long. If you'd like a copy of that, you have to be a coaching client, just email us Roger's listing package or some such comment, and we'll make sure we get that off to you. Roger has given me permission to share that with you. So for you to have a great listing presentation, for you to have the resultant, it's a good word, the resultant, I don't know if it is a word, confidence that you have in your business from a strong listing presentation, the one and only way to have a much better listing presentation and all the benefits that accrue to you from it is to do a lot of listing presentations mindfully. Now, what does mindfully mean? Mindfully means that when you do it, you're really thinking about how you're doing it. You're making note of where you're strong and how the parts of your presentation that you really want to emphasize and where you may not be as strong. And then as you do it in front of clients, you watch, where do you really have their attention and where do you maybe lose some of their attention? So you do a lot of them mindfully, and I say you must, if you want to strengthen your listing presentation, do one per week. Now, what does that mean? That means today's Monday, if you look forward to your week and you have a listing presentation scheduled, then that's your one for the week. Cool, you could practice and do more. That's great. But you're going to do at least one this week. If you don't have one scheduled, then by Wednesday or Thursday, if you don't have a listing presentation, you need to set aside about an hour to rehearse your listing presentation with full materials, a CMA, your marketing plan, your marketing materials, sitting down by yourself with someone role-playing, doesn't matter, and do your entire listing presentation so that you have lots of practice, at least 52 of them every week. Maybe you'll go on vacation. At least 40 of them a year. So today I want to wrap up, spend our last few minutes, our last few comments about how do you get more listings? And we talked about this many times. It's not new, but that makes sense. We don't learn new things all the time. We learn nuances, sort of small details about how to make your listing presentation or any part of your business better. So how do you get more listings? Well, this is a study I've shown you before, and it's true. It's true of the group that I met with in Wisconsin, of the group that I met with in New York. When I asked them these same questions, the majority of an agent's listings will always come, not always, will most often come from your sphere of influence. So you really want a sphere of influence campaign to get listings. The next most prolific area is your farm area. And again, you want to have a farming program. And the third most, if you look down on the right, it's only 2% of any group. If you took 100 agents, only 2% of the listings they would take would be expired. But you might take one agent, an Anthony or a Roger or a Troy, or I could name many others, and you could find that much of their business is expired because they really focus on it. So overall, it's not the strength of most agents' businesses, but when someone really focuses on it, they become strong at it. There's many other sources. You can see them on the screen, but the one key source to getting listings, your sphere of influence. Second best source, farm area. Third best source, likely expireds. And if you have another, and over the course of February is everything listings. So we're going to be talking about the details of your listing presentation, the details of getting listings, the details of servicing listings, all the topics of listings in February. So we'll talk about that. We're about to wrap up. Your ingredient for your recipe of success today, your homework, if you will, is to rehearse or present your listing presentation this week, or I want you to feel guilty about it. I want you to really, really feel badly, because if you feel badly that a week goes by, man, I didn't exercise for a week and I missed it. I didn't feel guilty as much as I really missed it, and I knew I was getting back to it. So I exercised on Friday and again on this morning. Rehearse or present your listing presentation this week, full-blown presentation, or I want you to really be conscious that you missed a week with no listing presentation, because that's how you get strong. So make a commitment in the month of February, these 4 weeks at least. You're going to begin to get in the habit, or perhaps get in the habit, of doing a listing presentation every week. We do have live calls on Mondays and Fridays. Today we have one at 11:30, and again right now at 8:30. And if you're not already a coaching client, for just $49 a month, you get more tools. You know, what does that mean to me? It means you're going to sell more real estate more easily. You're going to have more confidence, more peace of mind, more organization, more time management for $49 a month with no annual commitment. If you do it monthly, it's a $99 startup fee, so $148 to begin, or $499 for the year, and save about $200. And you get startup coaching call with me to set up your business plan, and more tools, more coaching, more everything than any other coaching program for anywhere near the price. Hug the ones you love. If you haven't been with us before, I hope you join us next Monday, or call us and join us in the coaching program. If you're one of our normal coaching clients, I hope to be with you at 8:30 right now on our live call. Or if not, make a great day, make a sale, and begin to have a fabulous February. No matter how strong your January was, it's a new month. No matter how weak your January was, it's a new month. Make February great. Be well. Hug the ones you love. Bye.